Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, we have a lot of cool stuff to share. I'm trying out a new camera, hopefully some higher quality, and well, we're going to talk about the Ripple v SEC lawsuit. Quite a lot of stuff going on, and what you'll see from my Twitter just now is that we have quite a significant amount of updates to cover. I'm going to try put timestamps in the description down below. If I don't do it, don't blame me, all right, guys? I might have forgotten It's all new for me, all right? I'm trying a lot of different stuff out. Having said that, if you guys could, make sure that you put down below if you'd like to see the face cam a little bit more often. And guys, let's try to get this video to 1,000 likes because, I don't know, it would help with the YouTube algorithm. Having said that, let's dive right into the news. So I'm going to put it small there. I'm just going to try some stuff out. All right, so let's quickly take a little bit of a look over on my Twitter. I've basically been retweeting and sharing the majority of news that I could find surrounding the lawsuit. And everything is just, again, on my page where you'll most likely be able to find it. You can see some Binance news. You can see some lawsuit news is starting here. Let's just quickly go, I guess, across this little list. Let me show you guys what it looks like. The list here is like this. I'll just keep it like this for right now so you guys can just check it out like that. Breaking news. The US SEC rejected MicroStrategy's Bitcoin accounting strategy. You might have said that this is one of the reasons the crypto market is falling so much. I would say that it does add a little bit and is not necessarily positive, but I would definitely not be able to say that this is the most negative of news. I would just like to state that it's most likely the NASDAQ falling, of which we have a couple of other articles somewhere throughout the road. Now, one little announcement, I guess, that's kind of arbitrary, but okay, is that South Korea is planning to go for crypto in a really big fashion. Apparently, in 5 years, they want to become the top of the top in metaverse. It doesn't necessarily actually mean crypto in any way, shape, or form. Metaverse obviously is more so gaming rather than anything else. But I understand, of course, the implications of becoming the leader in metaverse that you have to get really big in crypto. Then again, I believe that when we checked those polls a little while back, that South Korea was like number 1 or number 2 in terms of countries with the highest crypto adoption anyway. So once more, it's not really that strange of an announcement. All right, then getting a little bit distracted with what news and what order. I think it's because of the cam, guys. You know, it's daunting, but all right. So Phil and Law just shared this. Breaking. SEC files motion requesting until February 17th to file a motion for partial reconsideration of the DPP ruling. Straight at the bat here, whenever I saw this, I was like, why? Because this exactly means, yet again, that they're going to try stall things. You know, they're going to try make things take even longer, or from another perspective, they want to see whatever the judge said reversed. The DPP is the deliberative process privilege. And guys, these videos are not financial advice, not legal advice in any way, shape, or form. We've done a little bit of our research, though. What it basically stands for is that the SEC is holding a lot of information that they claim is privileged because of the function or whatever that they have. And Ripple said, no, we deserve to get that information. The SEC said no. Ripple won partially where they were granted some information. Now the SEC is trying to overthrow the ruling from the judge and say, we don't think you should deserve those documents. This is mostly revolving around the Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP documents, I think, rather than the William Hillman speech, but we'll get to that in just a second. Reconsideration on the DPP ruling and asks to file 20-page brief and to submit more documents for an in-camera review in support of motion to reconsider. The SEC seeks partial reconsideration of only a single aspect of the order relating to drafts and emails in connection with a June 14, 2018 speech by Director Bill Hinman. The speech, Ripple has objected to the SEC's request. XP Crypto Wolf also here shared, I laughed about this one. SEC are embarrassing themselves at this point. It's obvious they're trying to cover up and hide their shady emails and documents. Well, I would like to say this. Actually, let me put it in a big screen. Don't you guys agree with me here that it's so weird that the SEC, which is I'm not sure how you call it, not a public organization, but like an entity basically, which is supposed to act for the people in the US, specifically the investors, that they're so inconsiderate of what the US investors know, right? At least to me, in my head, it doesn't click that they're happy to hide stuff. And I understand maybe they want to make money, that they want to sue some companies to protect investors, but I don't understand how they can go for hiding so much information. You might say, but they're just hiding from Ripple. It's a lawsuit, it's war. Yes, but no. Ultimately, the public interest in this is so great, and they could really prevent a lot of this, and they could help out the world or the US investors a lot by just making some things clear or giving a little bit more information out. That's just fair to do. And I just don't understand how a US entity like this can be so unfair. I understand you might call out for corruption or something along those lines. I don't want to say that. I just want to say I think it's odd that they don't hand out, or at least are so disagreeable to handing out this specific information. I don't really understand why that would be the case. All right, so moving on. Let's quickly check this out. I have some more XP lawsuit stuff before we move on, actually. So let me quickly pull that through here. We have so much stuff that I've been kind of digging around, guys. I have some memes here over at the end that I want to quickly cover. Some other juicy news. Oh, yeah, here's, by the way, the main culprit of what took the crypto market by surprise, if you guys were wondering. The Dow Jones Industrial just closed above 29,000. This is from a long time ago, right? September 2020. Donald Trump already kind of said, if Joe becomes president, it's going to crash, kind of. And funny enough, this is the first time in a long while that we've seen such a major crash for the Dow. And obviously, that's what's taking crypto down as well, if you're wondering. It's the Dow Jones, most likely. Not financial advice, not official, not facts, not objective, my thoughts. All right. To put it into perspective, by the way, crash is also relative because is it really that crazy of a crash? Depends on how you view it, right? I mean, look at this little button right there. I mean, it doesn't really look like too much if you look at it from this side and this angle. You know, it's not as if really the world is all of a sudden breaking up for this small little point right there. If you're asking me, it's not that big a deal. And I actually portray this to the majority of you guys as well over in the videos that I'm always saying it's not that bad unless it really gets bad. And from that point, we'll most likely reconsider and see. But that's not here. When do we get there? Never, I don't think. I don't think Bitcoin can actually crash that much where if we zoom out that it looks bearish or negative. It's obviously it's basically going to go, I don't know the perfect way to say it. It's going to go up piece by piece, and it will have a lot of dips, just like the stock market, just like any other market. And a lot of people like to compare it with Amazon and whatnot, and I actually have done that a couple of times before, where you basically compare it with Amazon in the sense that it had some really major drops where people lost their confidence for maybe a couple of years. But generally speaking, if you stepped into Amazon any one of these years, you'd be up in terms of money. And it simply goes for quite a lot of other stocks from major companies that a lot of people had some trouble with at one point or another. All right, but let's check this one out. So there's a couple other things which happened. Guys, I'm getting a lot of things mixed up. Let's quickly check it out. We have this one right here. Let's just go for this one. John Deaton said he just received a letter from NC Senator Burr. Mr. Davis, thank you for sharing your concerns regarding federal security laws and digital currency. I appreciate hearing from you, and I apologize for my delayed response. Please know that I appreciate hearing your concerns regarding the ongoing lawsuit between the SEC and Ripple. While I understand your thoughts, I do not have the authority to get involved. Based on your letter, you may be interested to know several pieces of legislation that have been introduced in Congress to address the lack of regulatory clarity regarding digital currencies. For example, the Securities Clarity Act would prevent investment contract assets from being defined as a security, which would strengthen the authority of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission of the industry. Digital asset market structure and investor protection would redefine statutory definitions to direct the majority of regulatory authority over digital assets to the SEC. And understand the desire from both those in the industry and retail investors for a legislative solution that sets a clear path forward on whether the SEC or CFTC has the authority to regulate this rapidly growing market. And I believe that we need transparency that ensures fairness for both investors and businesses and does not stifle U.S. innovation within the industry. Please know that I will continue to engage with my colleagues in Congress to find appropriate free market solutions to these regulatory hurdles. And in this regard, your input is both timely and insightful. Again, thank you for contacting me. Should you wish to have another question or comment out, please do not hesitate. Sincerely, Richard Burr. This is good and bad. He's from North Carolina here, or in North Carolina at least. The reason it's good is obviously because the more feedback we get, the better, the merrier. That's all I can say about that. The reason it's bad, potentially, is, again, to relate it back, we didn't really get anything that we wanted. He's just saying, can't do anything about it. Sorry, my guy. Gonna try help out maybe a little bit, but really no. So it just depends on how you view it. I think it's just a nice step that they're acknowledging it, though. But it just basically depends on how you view it. Somebody else says, I got basically the same letter from Burr. Making a video later today to share how I feel about it. In my opinion, we are not doing enough to be unignorable, not by a country mile. I guess from that side, it's like we are getting acknowledged, but, oh, you have an issue? Cool. Can't help you, buddy. Here's some stuff that I know about it. That's kind of what he did, if you ask me. So I'm not too excited about that, but it's progress, depending on how you look at it. Let's actually see, though. Let's check my Twitter out to see what I kind of missed here. because I've been sharing quite a lot of different stuff. So a little fun fact, David Schwartz shared this. I laughed about it as well. My usual Lamborghini and caviar ads have been replaced by ads for payday loans and hotline. Is something going on in the crypto markets? Don't know. And then Brad Garlinghouse said something there as well. Hopefully you guys saw it already. This right here I think was rather funny. It's time to build. As obviously right now we're looking for more solid stuff out there instead of just the hype and stuff. Blockworks, major news. Man, I have so much news today. It's crazy. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager in the world. I've done an entire freaking video just about this specific man. So powerful, so interesting. There's so much to be discussed. I even kind of related it back to Ripple in the sense that they are right now focusing really heavily on the energy field, meaning if you're not basically really doing your best from an environmental perspective, that they're not going to mess with you. And Ripple had a really big part in that, I guess, where they're trying to be carbon neutral by 2030. I kind of commented on that saying, I think Ripple's philosophy is not necessarily fake, but kind of like, you just are saying this because it'll look a certain way, because that's kind of what BlackRock incentivized. There's a little code or three letters, I'm not sure exactly, I think it's 3 letters that you have to, basically there's a score for that. And the higher the score, the more likely they are to help you. And you got to be on the scoreboard if you basically want to receive any support from BlackRock, meaning you got to be environmentally supportive, otherwise they're not going to support you. And so if you just put something out there on your website, you're already progressive in some way. And that's where it's like, I kind of find it funny how Ripple can kind of get that done, you know, but that's besides the point. Stuart Alderty, I guess, shared, because there's so much that's going on. We've reached the do as I say, not as I do stage of the lawsuit with the latest from the SEC. All right, that's one part. Let's quickly see where you can find more. Let's see. I think we covered this part. Oh yeah, David Schwartz. So let's quickly go over. Maxi Tilt says, is it just me or does this paragraph mean the opposite of someone's personal opinion? It seems like the speech was discussed widely across the agency and incredibly well thought out, almost like they orchestrated it to provide guidance. What is that talking about? 19 hours ago, as we just said, they basically want to file a new kind of do-over. And then the paragraph reads, let's quickly check it out. The SEC respectfully submits that these additional documents clarify the truly deliberative nature of the discussion surrounding the speech across the SEC and show that the speech was not merely peripheral to actual policy formation, but was in fact an essential link in the SEC's deliberative process with respect to ethers and other digital assets. Guys, let me put this back. Guys, this is Canon. This is so freaking important. A lot of people are not noticing this. This is most likely one of the biggest slip-ups that the SEC has had thus far. How I mean that is that what they've said right now in this specific little part is that they honestly think, no, but everything that went around the William Hillman speech, that was critical to our determination of ether. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? If they think that that was so important to their determination for ether, and so it's SEC policy stuff, maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but everything points towards the fact that they're kind of contradicting themselves. From some perspective saying, no, all that stuff is just an opinion. From the other side saying, no. Even if I said it the wrong way around right now, it doesn't really matter. Because whatever they've said before, right now they say the exact opposite thing, or at least they're making it look that way, which is very odd. I'm not exactly sure why they would go through that process and why they would do it. But I also got to remember that you guys can't see a part because of my new camera, right? So you guys can't really read this entire part. Sorry, my guys. Sorry. All right. And show that the speech was not merely peripheral to actual policy formulation, but was in fact essential link in the SEC deliberative process with respect to ether and other digital assets. The SEC therefore seeks to leave to submit for an in-camera review the entire set of 66 documents, or if the, and then again, David Schwartz just said he spit out his freaking Diet Coke as he read this because it makes absolutely no sense. They said it as well. It's fact is stranger than fiction. Literally everything that's going on here makes absolutely no sense in the Ripple VSC lawsuit. Every single day it becomes more of a show, and I keep sharing it with you guys that I'm so amazed in seeing this all go on. At the end of the day, guys, we cannot call out for any wrongdoing from their side. We cannot call that out officially. All we can say is that a lot of that stuff just doesn't make a lot of sense, and that I'm honestly just waiting for the end result, as it's so freaking funny. It's like, how can this all go unnoticed? How can the freaking the guys over in the US, like the higher up guys, let's call them like that, How can I not notice that there's some really shady stuff going on in the sense that nobody understands exactly how digital currencies are regulated or how they should work? And it's not a small market either. It's not as if it's just like, oh no, 5,000 people want to know. It's millions upon people that really want to know something from the US as they just sued Ripple. And even though that's just 65,000 people, you can understand how many people did not sign something. These are 65,000 people that signed something because they're worried about something or they don't understand. That means at least double of that are actually thinking about it, if you ask me. All right, but that's about the Ripple VST lawsuit, man. I've been making my head crazy with that stuff. It's been interesting, though. Let's cover a couple fun things, right? So one thing is what we have going on right now, which I think is also rather interesting. Earlier this month, Prada and Adidas made headlines by leaning into an environmentally friendly ethos for the latest capsule collection. Now the two brands are taking their partnership to the world of Web3 with their first collaborative NFT. Long story short, yeah, they're going for an NFT collection. Pretty cool, at least as far as I know. They want to bring you in. By bringing in 3,000 creators, Adidas and Prada fans will have a chance to own and create a piece of the NFT. Good? Maybe. I'm not sure if they're going to create one NFT with just pieces from 3,000 people inside where it's going to auction it off and be crazy expensive, or like a collection where people can just submit something or something like that. I have no idea. Do I really care about it? Yes and no. I know they're just trying to fill into the hype, but then again, it is, yeah, pretty profitable potentially if they actually launch some NFTs and you can buy them. So, then breaking, MicroStrategy basically bought a freaking ton of Bitcoin at 47,000. When I last checked the price, I don't want to FUD anybody, right? But indeed, it kind of, sorry. I mean, it kind of looked like, you know, look at that. Kind of looked like he was just buying, enjoying his time, having a good day. And then all of a sudden, boom, dear diary, I lost everything again. And that's like the fourth time. Then again, guys, I must remind you, I'm pretty bullish on crypto still, regardless of what happens here. And also, we talked earlier about what exactly should you have to cash out to. If you wanted to cash out right now, right, your crypto, where would you cash out to? Fiat? Is that the best option? Maybe. But here was like a little fun, relatable post for some people, maybe. The entire timeline right now, why are you here? I thought you were financially stable. Well, yeah, I thought I was, but, you know, unfortunately, things have changed. To that regard, guys, must say, I think it's pretty safe to go for fiat still, even though I think the numbers on that will go down. Every single year you lose about 5, maybe 7% of your money right now for the next 2 or so. It's still pretty quote-unquote safe because you just know that as long as the US doesn't completely fall, you're fine. Then again, I do like to remind people of the fact that right now stocks, the reason they're falling mostly has to do with everything that's kind of strange, basically, in the I'm going to say monetary policy, or at least the policies from the US. Meaning, if the stock market falls like crazy, the Dow Jones falls like crazy, stuff like that, there's a very good chance there's going to be a major collapse of sorts in other areas, I'm going to think too. Maybe what if the dollar just falls, right? Or the US economy falls that much that people lose faith in them keeping the number one position, so the dollar falls and whatnot. So your dollar doesn't fall just 5%. No, it falls like, let's say, 12% a year or so. Might have even been better to just hold something like crypto even. Remember, guys, I personally think it's best to go for some sort of yield structure for your cryptos. I think that's the best thing to do all the time. If you guys don't know anything about it, you can check out Patreon. I'm going to release more videos about that every single week or so. I'm trying to find a lot of stuff about it to kind of share. Because even though I'm trying a lot of stuff, I'm not sure what I should recommend to people to try out or look into, you know? I just have so many different things that I try and so many different people that tell me something else. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what is the best for, I guess, to tell people when they ask me. But I'm still doing a little bit of my best to look into that further. I would just say look up the concept of yield farming / staking, though, because that's obviously the best thing to do in a bear market where you might not want to get rid of your coins. At least look for a way to get more money with the coins you already have. That's it. All right, guys, let me put it like this again. Thank you all so much for stopping by, watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you press the like button. If you want the face cam more often, let me know. If you don't want to see it ever again, all right, let me know in the comment section too, and you will never see me again. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again in another one.